Hello everyone and welcome back to some Wario Land Shake with every single coin. Today we're going to be tackling World 4. This is part 5, so let's go. Now the first thing we're going to need to do is, like in every other episode, we're going to be buying the map for World 4. Now, the thing about this world is, honestly, I guess the thing to talk about is its length. Now, while no level is particularly hard, each level, besides the water level, because those don't matter in this run, well, each other level is really long and pretty tedious. But without further ado, let's hop into the first level, being what I believe Ropey Jungle. And it is, I believe, yeah, Ropey Jungle. Now, this level isn't too bad, although I'm going to be speeding it up just like the rest of the levels. Otherwise, this would be a 40-minute video. Now, this level introduces these climbable walls as well as a mixture of swingable ropes. Now, we're going to be starting off by getting to this pipe as well as going ahead and grabbing some coins on these walls. Now, these walls make it really annoying to keep up with what your coin counter should be, especially when shaking coin bags. So I have to be careful to make sure I don't actually mess up my coin counter. Now, this next little section, I decided to go ahead and sort of mess around and try to break the game. Now, you might have noticed that there were some coins that I missed that are blocked by some silver blocks, and I need a dash box in order to break them. And this would normally only be gotten when I actually leave the level. But thankfully there's a way around that, and I'll be getting to that in a second. But first we're going to need to go ahead and collect some money in this room, including a giant diamond. Also, I was trying to see if throwing an enemy into a flower would give me a coin. It did not. But then we can proceed, and we actually get access to a dash box, which we can then use to get a diamond, as well as head all the way over here, all the way back, in order to get the coins that are behind the walls. It's not too bad, but it does save some time when we head back, and we're going to need as much time as we can. Now I just go out in order to go ahead and get some health because I was running low, and then I can head back to where we left off, and we can proceed in the level. Now, another gimmick in this level is that there are these ropes that can only be moved if you are moving a certain direction, either falling or if you have enough speed from a dash box. And these can be kind of annoying, mostly because there's one when you're running back with the Murphle that kind of gets in your way, because there's a bunch of coins on it and you only have one shot, or at least you should only have one shot. But because we can save a lot of time, we can actually get 2 shots, and we can collect all the coins on both shots, which I'll be able to show once we get to the Murphle cage, which I get to right about here. Now, this is still pretty tricky because there are quite a few coins on the rope. But let's go. The first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to grab the dash box. Then we're going to need to do a few precise jumps right here. It's not too bad, but it does take a few tries. After that, we can actually get a pretty precise jump in order to collect a bunch of coins, and then we can run across these flowers. Now, This section, if you jump at the wrong time, you will run directly into a flower and it will ruin your speed. So it's important not to do that, for obvious reasons. Now we can actually make it to the rope. We just have to fall off these ledges and then head out here. We jump and we collect quite a few gold coins, but we missed a few. We collect a giant diamond, but we have to head back in a level. And we only have a minute and a half to collect all the coins. We go ahead and climb up these walls. And something about these walls is you can't really jump that high off of them. So even like right here, I should be able to reach the semi-solid platform, but nope. Instead I have to jump right, then jump left, and then actually make it up. And we're not done yet, because as you might have remembered, that rope actually requires that we have a dash box running the other way. So we're actually going to need to go all the way back through the level in order to get to the dash box. After getting to it, we can actually go ahead and use it in order to go back on that rope. And now we only have about half a minute left, so we have to be quick on this. We do a few more turns before jumping down in order to reach the rope. We jump and we collect the last coins. And level 1 is complete. And the next level would be a water level. But again, as they don't count in this run, I'm not going to be showing it. So, sorry Creep Blue Sea, but that doesn't matter. Or actually no, this is Windbreak Bay. Either way, it doesn't even matter. So I went ahead and I beat that level, and then we can actually unlock another level. That being Airtail Castle. It's probably pronounced a different way, but I'll just be calling it Airtail Castle for this run. Now this one is a lot longer of a level, and it's a lot more tedious for a few reasons. One, the loading zones are weird, and it's hard to empty out coin bags in a bunch of places. Thankfully, it's pretty forgiving right here, and then we get to the gimmick. These rocket uni buckets, or maybe they're just called rocket buckets. I'll probably be calling them both. But the thing about them is they can lead to some really tedious sections because they're motion controls. Now right here I tried to really just cheese this. Even though it doesn't help at all, I wanted to go ahead and get that diamond in a cool way. Then I went ahead and I went up here, and this is probably one of the harder sections of a level. Not this in particular, but not getting the map or getting the coin bag, but actually getting up here and then the next section. But first we're going to need to empty out a giant coin bag into our pockets. Next we go ahead and we head up, and then we can actually reach a pipe. Now this is the real tedious part of this level, collecting every single coin in these loops. And it took me a few tries to get them all. Mostly because if you get hit by one of these rotating little spinning spike balls, or maze of spike balls, it will send you all the way back to the beginning. Not of a level, thankfully, but pretty far away. Thankfully, we can go ahead and we can continue to collect money on every attempt. But yeah, this is really tedious. And we've almost gotten them all, but we just have a few straggler coins. now that we've collected almost all the coins, we can almost move on. Although, that last coin is really annoying to get. That's because that coin, of course, is where two spike balls intersect. Thankfully, we're able to get to it. And then, I just wanted to double check I didn't miss anything. And I didn't, so we can actually move on. We move on up here, and we just have a few other things that we have to do. One of those being getting a treasure chest, which we'll be getting in a second. But the first thing we're going to be doing is getting a giant coin bag. And of course we have to do it up against a loading zone with no ceiling, making it pretty tedious to get to it. I also messed up with abandoned yarrow, and I actually fixed it with another abandoned yarrow, and I was able to actually collect a treasure. And now we're almost at the Merfolk cage, but I needed to get a little treasure, aka this golden guy. I go ahead and shake him out, and then I'm able to get a lot of money from him. And now all I have to do is make it to the Merfolk. I reach a checkpoint, and now we're almost done with the level. All we have to do is race back. I grab the Merfolk cage, and then I shake it open. And thankfully, the route back is pretty simple. It's all on one dash cannon, and there's nothing really in your way. You just have to make a few precise jumps, as well as this. This is probably the hardest part of the level, but after that, it becomes a lot easier from here. And what do you know, we're already back, pretty much. A few more jumps later, and we're at the first screen. Or second, is the second screen. Now we're at the first screen. And now we're already back to the beginning. And now we only have one level left, but this one is kind of annoying. Now, this next level is similar to the first level in style, that being Soggy Bog River. Now, the problem about this level is it's essentially the first level, but a little bit harder, which can lead to some challenge. First thing we're going to need to do is we're actually going to need to grab this diamond. Now, the thing about this diamond is you have to use these really annoying enemies to use, shake them, and then actually get them to run into some bricks. Thankfully we're able to get that, and then we're going to use this money bag and we're going to get all the coins out of it. Except I missed some. So that was one of the unsuccessful attempts. I thought I might as well throw it in there because it didn't take too long, and I haven't shown any unsuccessful attempts yet. Now we have this successful attempt where we actually shake out the money bag, and then we can actually proceed with the level. Now here we actually have to be pretty careful because this little section is kind of tedious. We have to turn around at just the right moment, because if we turn around onto water, we'll fall directly into it, and that doesn't really work out well. We're able to get the treasure chest, and then we're able to move on to the rest of the level. Now, we have to make sure we get all the coins that are on top of these flowers, but it's not too much of a hassle. Next, we go ahead and we grab a giant coin bag. We get all the coins from it by standing on top of the dash cannon to make sure we don't miss any. We go ahead and collect the rest of the coins on the rope. We collect a treasure chest, and now we're almost at the end of a level. Except now we have a new gimmick. Now this new gimmick is the rushing water below. it will force you to one side of the level. Thankfully, we get out of that room and we collect the secret map here. We can go ahead and collect some more coins on these grabbable walls. I needed to go ahead and check to make sure there was no coins in the water. Thankfully, there weren't. And then we're able to proceed. Now, at this point, I was pretty low on health. Thankfully, I was able to get a giant garlic. And I was able to re-heal. Now, we have another swinging rope section, which we can make our way through. And we can collect quite a few more coins. We have a few breakable blocks that are on the water that we have to break. So we actually have to get to a dash cannon, which isn't too hard. I was trying to break them from below, or trying to actually fall into the water and get pushed underneath them so I could break them. It didn't really work out that well, but it possibly could work in theory. But it doesn't really matter, as we were able to move on and we're able to get to a dash cannon, which also lets us grab a diamond. We're able to make our way down here before grabbing another treasure chest. This is sort of annoying, but we're able to go ahead and we're able to make our way across these flowers and we're able to get the treasure chest. I think I somewhat cheesed it by jumping from the second flower. And then we're able to proceed though. And now we're actually close to the end. We just have one more screen to go. Actually, we have two. And of course this one had a diamond on it, so we had to go back and grab the dash cannon in order to access it. But with that, we're able to grab the diamond, and then we're able to proceed to the actual last screen with the rushing water. Here we have a coin bag, and I tried to do some exploring, trying to get into that little space where the logs are coming from. It didn't really work out that well, but I was also able to find in my exploration the golden enemy, which I forced into the room with the ladder in order to make sure I got every coin. And with that, we're almost at the end. We just have to make a few more jumps. Although, now we have the actual leading of this level, which actually isn't so bad. I just wanted to give a few more attempts on actually trying to get underneath where the logs come out. This is actually something that's used in a later level where you can actually go where the logs are. But that's a secret level that we're going to be covering later. For now, we're going to be taking on this last Murphle. Now, this Murphle isn't actually that bad. I did find a little bit of cheese, though. Instead of going down the ladder, which is slower, you can just do a jump in order to make your way around the left side. This saves a little bit of time, and then we're able to proceed. And as we cleared out most of the level already, there's nothing for us to do really. Nothing but run directly to the end. We go down and we are able to get to the last few screens. And there we go. We just have to make our way to the last screen before re-entering the beginning. And there we go. World 5 is pretty much ready to go, but all we have to do is get through the World 4 boss. And this boss is actually kind of challenging. And it's actual challenge instead of just gimmicks like the World 2 boss. Now, it took me quite a while to beat this boss, and just in time. This was only one attempt, but because it took quite a while, I don't want to make you sit through it. So I'm only going to be showing where I actually got to attack the boss. So without further ado, let's go. Now the whole gimmick with this boss is that he shoots out enemies and you basically have to throw them back at him. And then you have to knock his pot farther across the land in order to push him into the water. As you can see, he throws out some enemies, which we can then use in order to throw back at him. We dash into him, and as you can see, he bounces a little bit farther to the right. A little bit later, I was able to get him to shoot out a few more bandaneros, and then I hit him back a little bit more, and I was actually able to save a bandanero, which I then threw directly into his face before going ahead and pushing him back some more. And this next section is kind of difficult, where you actually have to deal with his shield that he'll put up, but it's not that much of a problem, and we're able to do some more damage. And then we're able to do a few more blows before finally beating this boss. And then we get to... Actually, we're getting pretty close to the end of the game. All we have left is World 5. And yeah, we can beat this game with every coin. One world left to go. It'll definitely be better than the last world in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, where we lost at no ground. This game will definitely be better to us. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.